Well, did you know that the U.S. government is stealing from you every day? Well, James Madison, our fourth president, would say so, because he said a depreciating currency is just like stealing property and therefore unconstitutional. Well, our currency used to be tied to something tangible with an intrinsic value. It used to be tied to gold and then silver. You could take a dollar bill, go to a bank, and they would give you a silver dollar. It was known intrinsic value. The bills were just easier to carry around than the coins, that's a fine system. The problem is when they disconnected the dollar from silver finally at the end, it was no longer tied to anything, and what it did was it allowed the government to print as much money as they want, and print they did and still do. And it's just like throwing water in the soup. It thins it out. You got to eat more just to get enough nutrition. You know, the cost of the goods to produce those goods has not gone up. It takes the same natural resources. It takes the same labor. So that hasn't changed. What changed was there's just more money floating around in the system, and it takes more dollars to buy the same thing. But we're hearing things. We're hearing things about the Federal Reserve. You know, that Federal Reserve is not federal. It's a private bank. And there's no reserve. They just tell the Treasury Department to print more money, and then they loan that printed money to the U.S. at interest. It's a giant Ponzi scheme. But we're hearing lots of things these days about income tax, about tariffs, about the External Revenue Service, hearing things about the Federal Reserve. I think there's changes coming. I pray that they are. But it's a great time to keep your ears open. And welcome to the Great Awakening.